Part 105. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 1041. Ahem, Mr. Pei, how about we make another bet? Xiaopingan looked at Mr. Pei with a smile. I bet on that heaven escape treasure wheel that you just stepped on. If I really come to the temple to do business today, the temple will receive me. Then your sky escape treasure wheel belongs to me. If I lied to you, how many things I won in Viang Tower that day, I will return them all to you today, so that you can get your money back. Looking at Xiaopingan's harmless smile, Mr. Pei's heart instinctively shivered. He had experienced Xiaopingan's power, but he had no confidence in Xiaopingan at all. Haha, you want to deceive me about the sky escape treasure wheel, so dream on me. Mr. Pei snorted coldly and unfolded the folding fan with a swish sound, but he still said harshly, although this temple is not a place that ordinary people can come, but you have to deliberately find something to do. It is not difficult to come to the temple to broaden your horizons, but now I am suspicious that you just want to set up a trap here and lure me into taking the bait. Do you really think that I am so easy to deceive? This guy is not stupid, haha. Xiaopingan secretly laughed in his heart, and the two of them walked towards the temple at the same time, but he said, Hey, Mr. Pei, why are you talking so harshly? How can we say that the bet between us demigods is a lie? It's just luck. Mr. Pei's eyes suddenly rolled, as if he thought of something. As he walked, he put the folding fan in his hand and said to Xiaopingan, I have made a meritorious service in the past few days. I came to the temple today to receive it as special reward from the temple. I wonder why you came to the temple. What a coincidence, I also came to the temple to receive a special reward. Ha ha ha, don't you want to bet? If you want to rely on luck, then I will bet on luck with you today. Now you don't know what my credit is, and I don't know what your credit is, so let's bet whoever the temple gives more rewards will win. How about it? Do you dare? Aren't you lucky? You won't give up as soon as you arrive and really rely on your ability, right? Young Master Pei also deliberately provoked Xiaopingan with a few words, and in his heart, young Master Pei's wishful thinking was also ringing in his mind. If Xiaopingan refused this bet, he would just be angry, find his own psychological advantage, and put all his thoughts into it. Smoothing the shadow, he lost to this guy so many times before that it almost hit his heart. He dreamed about playing rock paper scissors with this guy for several nights in a row and lost. Grandmas. And if this guy dares to agree, haha, that's exactly what he wants, and he can just get back all the money he lost before. He came to the temple this time to receive a reward. Recently, he completed a task and got a relatively rare spiritual pet cultivation secret book somewhere. After handing in the secret book will become a treasure trove. There are collections in the temple, so he can also get rewards from the temple after he comes to the temple to register. This reward, as usual, will definitely not be small. Mr. Pei doesn't believe that the rewards that a newcomer like Xiaopingan can get can be comparable to his own. Humph, I guess this guy has just mastered the divine skills, and he is about to advance to the level of a demigod. Since Mr. Pei is interested, I naturally dare to do it. I have always felt embarrassed after winning so many things from Mr. Pei. Xiaopingan smiled, it's just that the rewards from the temple may not be of the same type, making it difficult to compare. How can we distinguish who gets more rewards and who gets less rewards? You and I are both powerful demigods. It's easy for you and me to know at a glance whether the temple's rewards are precious or not precious, which are more or less. Unless we want to act unconscionably and refuse to admit it, I don't think you can either. I'm not such a person, and I'm certainly not that kind of person, so what, do you dare to bet? Okay, let's make a bet. Xiaopingan really laughed. The demigod strongman led by Wolong had not been beaten in the God of War arena for many years. He broke this record in the God of War arena. Record, this was a great achievement. He really didn't believe that Mr. Pei's achievements could exceed his achievements in continuously killing 89 powerful demigods from the opponent in the God of War arena. Moreover, Xiaoping'an just did some divination quietly, and the result was good luck, ha ha ha. Okay, then it's settled, let's take another gamble today. Mr. Pei looked at Xiaoping'an as if he was someone who was taken advantage of, and Xiaoping'an looked at him the same way. The two laughed heartily and walked to the door of the temple together. Between the huge golden pillars is the door to the temple. When you enter the temple, you will be greeted by the statue of the Lord of Heaven. The statue exudes an awe-inspiring aura of divine power. In front of the statue, there is a long incense table and an offering table. The incense burner has various sacrificial objects placed on it. Tens of thousands of lit candles shine brightly here, illuminating the hall with splendor. The smoke after the pillars of fragrance are lit rises to the dome of the temple, condensing into in the ethereal sky covered by clouds and fog. The brilliance of the god realm is faintly revealed from behind the smoke and clouds. Some vaguely existing buildings in the god realm can be seen, and there are also smart and ethereal songs and hymns coming from the god realm. Come, be holy and solemn. The two of them put away their smiles, saluted the statue, lit incense and candles according to the rules, and then walked around the statue of the Lord of Heaven and came to a side hall next to the temple. A man wearing the robe of a temple deacon had already walked towards the two of them. The temple merit department already knows your purpose of coming, please come with me. The two glanced at each other, then followed the deacon of the temple through the long passage in the temple, and finally came to the merit department of the temple. An old man with 3 circles of sacred light flashing behind his head and an awe-inspiring aura received the two people in a room. The room where they were received was clean and elegant, but because of the presence of this old man, the sacred aura surging throughout the room was extremely strong, making this clean and elegant room feel like heaven. Level 3 God. Xiaoping'an and Mr. Pei looked at each other, and they both saw in each other's eyes. The third-level god in front of him has already ignited 2 rays of divine flames. He may be only 6 steps away from becoming a god. This is someone who can already touch 1/3 of the realm of gods. The old man was sitting behind a long desk, his eyes as deep as the sea, calmly watching the two people speak. Mr. Pei, the temple's rewards for contributing classic secrets to the Sutra Pagoda have always been very generous. The spiritual pet cultivation secret book you got while completing the task this time has enriched the classics of spiritual pet cultivation in the Sutra Pagoda. After the approval of the merit department, the temple will reward you for 5 months of secret cultivation in the spiritual pet Buddhist scripture tower in the Buddhist scripture hall. During these 5 months, you will have any secret scriptures in the spiritual pet Buddhist scripture tower. Browse power. When Mr. Pei heard this, he was instantly overjoyed. This was exactly what he expected. He exchanged a secret book for the right to practice secretly in the spiritual pet Tibetan Sutra Pagoda for 5 months. This was a big profit. With these 5 months in his time, he could read all the classic secret books he wanted to read in the spiritual pet Sutra collection tower. Hee, this bet is safe. Mr. Pei laughed so hard that his mouth split open. He glanced at Xiaoping'an proudly, and then saluted the third-level god, Your Majesty, the Lord of Heaven, thank you for the temple's reward. The third-level divine master nodded slightly, then looked at Xiaoping'an, waved to Xiaoping'an, and said gently, the listening team has passed a letter with the temple. Come here and extend your hand. I will check to make sure one time. Xiaoping'an walked over and stretched out his right hand. The old man was like a doctor diagnosing the pulse. He put a few fingers on Xiaoping'an's wrist. The sacred aperture behind his head suddenly shone brightly, almost covering Xiaoping'an's entire body. The person was wrapped in, but within a few seconds, it returned to normal. Yes, you are very good. There has not been a lovely child like you in Wolong territory for a long time. You should have come earlier. The old man actually showed a smile to Xiaoping'an, his words full of received praise. When Mr. Pei heard this, his expression suddenly became subtle. He looked at Xiaopingan with some surprise. He didn't know what contribution Xiaopingan had made to actually make the third-level god in front of him speak. Commend. Senior, please forgive me. I didn't know before that I could report here for my contribution. I thought I had already been rewarded. Xiaopingan said modestly. What a simple and good boy, he is so indifferent to fame and fortune despite his great achievements. The smile on the old man's face became more friendly, but the face of Mr. Pei next to him became more and more stiff, and a bad feeling suddenly came into his heart. Ahem, Senior, I wonder what reward the temple will give me. Xiaopingan glanced at Mr. Pei and asked. You have won 89 games in a row in the God of War arena and killed 89 demigods of the opponent. This has strengthened our reputation and broken the record in the Wolong territory. After being approved by the merit department of the temple will reward you in the Sutra Collection Hall. 3 years of secret cultivation. During these 3 years, you can browse all the secret scriptures in any scripture tower in the Sutra Collection Hall without restrictions. What? Win 89 games in a row at the God of War arena, breaking Wolong's record? This guy is simply a pervert among perverts. How did he do this? Even though he tried his best, he only won 17 games in a row. People who have never experienced a life and death fight in the God of War arena would never know the horror and test of those life and death fights. Mr. Pei looked at Xiaopingan in shock, his brows twitching, and the expression on his face was almost uglier than crying. A few minutes later, Xiaopingan and Mr. Pei walked out of the temple together. Xiaopingan's steps were relaxed and his face was cheerful, while Mr. Pei looked like he was carrying 1,000 tons of weight. His steps were slow and slightly staggering, his face was as black as the bottom of a pot, and his nostrils were wheezing like an old cow. Ahem, Mr. Pei, I'm sorry. Look, I won again, the Sky Escape treasure wheel. Xiaopingan squinted at Mr. Pei. The look on Mr. Pei's face showed a struggle, but in the end he obediently took out the heavenly escape wheel. He glanced at Xiaopingan with a somewhat red and reluctant look, then turned his head, like a god of plague, summoning taboo. The armor flew away without saying a word. This guy's gambling products are pretty good. Xiaopingan looked at Master Pei flying away, touched his chin, looked at the Heaven Escape treasure wheel in his hand, and also laughed. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 1042. This Sky Escape treasure wheel is indeed a good thing. No wonder that guy is using this thing to show off. Xiaopingan couldn't help but sigh as he held the escape treasure wheel in his hand. He had just used a trace of divine power to enter the treasure wheel, and he immediately knew how to use it. In addition to being directly controlled by the body, this Sky Escape treasure wheel can also be combined with the forbidden armor to increase the flying speed and flexibility of the forbidden armor, which greatly improves the forbidden armor. In real battles, a 10% increase in the speed of the forbidden armor will have a great impact, and this Sky Escape treasure wheel can increase the flying speed of the forbidden armor by more than 30%. Even if it is used by a person alone, this thing is very flexible, allowing people to travel quickly through the air with only a small amount of divine power without the need for other spells or props. This thing was too high profile to use in the Wolong territory, it would attract others' attention, and it was not in line with Xiaopingan's habits. Therefore, Xiaopingan put away the Sky Escape treasure wheel, summoned the crane, and flew directly towards the Sutra Collection Hall on the crane. He was in the air. Xiaopingan waved his hand, and the green-clothed messenger appeared in front of him, stopped on his shoulder, rubbed Xiaopingan's cheek with his head, and shouted, "Master, Master, Master! Go and send a message to Mo Xiang and the others, saying that I am going to find a place to retreat and practice hard for 3 years, so that they can stop worrying about it." Xiaopingan said to the messenger in green. I know, I know." The green-clothed messenger nodded, then flapped his wings, turned into a green light, and flew away in the blink of an eye, no slower than the crane. The reason for reporting the news to Mo Xiang and the others was that they would worry about something happening to him if they could not see him for a long time, so he told him first. This time, Xiaopingyan will study hard in the Sutra Collection Hall for 3 years, and thoroughly read the secret scriptures in the Sutra Collection Hall. Such an opportunity is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and Xiaopingyan never wants to miss it. In the past 3 years, although it is not possible to read all the vast secret books in the Buddhist scripture hall, I should be able to have a rough look at the various classic secret books in the Buddhist scripture hall. This will have an impact on Xiaopingyan's strength. The improvement has a huge effect. When Xiaopingyan saw the buildings in the Sutra Collection Hall, the messenger in green just flew in from a distance after reporting the letter. Xiaopingyan waved his hand, put away the messenger and the crane, and landed lightly on the Tibetan scripture hall. Outside the gate of the Sutra Hall, walked directly towards the Sutra Collection Hall. As soon as they entered the magnificent main hall of the Sutra Collection Hall, a puppet machine man had already taken the initiative to walk towards Xiaopingyan. Master Longhuan, the Sutra Collection Hall has received the order from the temple. May I ask, Master Longhuan, whether you should exercise the temple's privilege of rewarding adults now? This puppet machine actually uses a skill similar to divine power transmission to directly interact with Xiaopingyan. The private exchange surprised Xiaopingyan. He had never discovered that the puppet machine in the Sutra Collection Hall had this ability before. I would like to ask, how to exercise the privileges of the temple rewards? Xiaopingyan frowned and asked. Before he came, he thought that the rewards could be used up at once, but it seems that there will be many options here. The temple rewards you with 3 years of secret cultivation time in the Sutra Collection Hall. Please note that this is secret cultivation in the Sutra Collection Hall, not ordinary reading. The location of the secret cultivation in the Sutra Collection Hall is not in the ordinary private reading room, but in the underground secret cultivation tower in the Sutra Collection Hall. The time flow rate in the secret cultivation tower is only 1/10 of that outside. Therefore, 3 years of secret cultivation time is equivalent to 30 years in an ordinary private reading room. Master Longhuan, if you don't want to enter the secret cultivation tower for secret cultivation, you can divide the secret cultivation time into ordinary private reading time and use it year by year. The secret cultivation in the secret cultivation tower can start in as little as 1 month. Secret cultivation tower? Is there such a magical place in the Sutra Collection Hall? Xiaopingyan's heart was shocked. He really didn't know that the secret cultivation of the Sutra Collection Hall was actually completed in the secret cultivation tower, and the time flow rate in the secret cultivation tower was only 1/10 of that outside. This also meant that the temple reward his 3 years of secret cultivation in the Sutra Pagoda actually gave him 30 years to study various classics in the Sutra Pagoda. I go. Lord Longhuan, please forgive me. The secret cultivation tower in the temple is generally only open to special personnel. For some people, time is the most precious, and the secret cultivation tower can help people save time, the puppet machine explained. I wonder how Master Longhuan chooses. I choose to enter the secret cultivation tower for secret cultivation. He didn't want to board it for 30 years, and Xiaopingyan himself was also full of curiosity about the secret cultivation tower. Okay, sir, please come with me. The puppet agent turned around and walked in one direction in the Sutra Collection Hall. There was a door over there. Xiaopingyan had been to the Sutra Collection Hall many times, but he had never entered that door. I don't know what is behind that door. When the puppet machine man came to the door opened. Xiaopingyan followed the puppet machine man into it and found that behind the door was another hall. The hall was like an elevator hall. There were elevators in the hall. There is a small room, and underneath the small room are huge metal pipes that lead directly to the ground. The puppet machine man took Xiaopingyan into one of the small rooms. On the wall of the small room, there was something like a lever. Next to the lever, there were some metal buttons marked with special characters. As the puppet machine, the person came to the wall, pressed a few times on the metal buttons marked with special characters and symbols, and then pulled the lever down hard. Xiaopinggan felt the small room where he was in roar like a cannonball. It shot out into the depths of the ground and quickly shuttled through the huge metal pipe. Master Xuanhuan, this underground shuttle is a product of the Deuteran mechanical talisman civilization in the universe. It is very easy to use. It can take us directly to the secret cultivation tower chosen by you. The puppet machine explained to Xiaopinggan Road. After staying in the small room for less than 2 minutes, Xiaopinggan felt that the room he was in had traveled at least hundreds of kilometers through metal pipes. When Xiaopinggan felt that the room had stopped, the puppet machine opened the door of the room. The two of them walked out of the room. What appeared in front of Xiaopinggan was another scene. This is somewhere deep underground. Standing in front of Xiaopinggan is a huge pyramid with a height of more than 1,000 meters. The pyramid is entirely made of black crystal. Within the black crystal, there are circles of golden mysterious runes. This site is extremely spectacular. A huge metal pipe extended from the earth's crust above his head to the entrance of the crystal pyramid, making Xiaopinggan feel that the huge crystal pyramid in front of him was like a platform for a mysterious underground train battle. Master Xuanhuan, this secret cultivation tower is now in use. Your palm print is the key to open the secret cultivation tower's door. From the moment the secret cultivation tower's door is opened, the time starts, no matter what secret book you want to read. Can be provided in the pyramid. I wish you a happy secret cultivation. Under the respectful gaze of the puppet organ man, Xiaopinggan took a deep breath, walked up the crystal steps, and came step by step to the door of the secret pyramid. A black crystal door blocked Xiaopinggan. Xiaopinggan stretched out his hand and placed it on the black crystal door. The black crystal door opened like ripples, and then Xiaopinggan entered. Just after taking a few steps, the black crystal door closed again, and there was a long passage in front of him. The light on both sides of the passage was blurred, as if he had entered a magical world. Passing through this passage, you entered a hall of tens of thousands of square meters. The black void in this hall seemed endless. Countless classics and secrets were slowly flowing above Xiaopinggan's head like the Milky Way and stars in the sky. Xiaopinggan was stunned by this sight. If you look carefully at the stars in the flowing Milky Way, you will find that there are words in those stars. The words are the names of secret books and classics. Different secret books and classics emit different colors of light. Xiaopinggan stretched out his hand towards a star that flashed red light. With a thought, he raised his hand and picked off the star. When the star reached Xiaopinggan's hand, it suddenly became heavy and turned into an antique book. The secret book, Thousands of Armies Defeating Demons. As soon as Xiaopinggan let go of his hand, the secret book in his hand turned into a little red light and merged into the galaxy above his head. Xiaopinggan picked off a star again. The star sank in his hand and turned into a secret book, Lingshan's Secret Altar Sutra again. He took another star and the star turned into Gu God Destroying World Sutra. Pick another star, and that star will become another secret book, the essence of the 3 certificates of the heart talisman. Xiaopinggan dispersed his consciousness and merged into the galaxy, and the names of countless secret books in the galaxy suddenly came into his mind. This should be the real Buddhist scripture tower, which gathers all the secret scriptures from all directions in the universe. Because there are not many secret scriptures in the universe, it is difficult to popularize them, so they are hidden underground. Only by receiving special awards from the temple, to be able to come here. Xiaopinggan looked at the stars in the sky and said to himself, and suddenly he had a clear understanding in his heart. As for the scripture storage tower on the ground above, it is actually more suitable for ordinary demigods to read. And it can inspire everyone to earn military merit. Of course, there should be more underground secret cultivation towers than the one in front of me, but there should be many, so the puppet mechanism man just needed to perform some special operations in the elevator. You should be able to use this place with confidence. It would be a waste to leave so many secret manuals and classics like this. After muttering to himself, Xiaoping's eyes flashed, he took out a technique in his hand, and said in his mouth he let out a low growl, "Now." As soon as he finished speaking, Xiaoping's whole body experienced violent fluctuations in divine power and soul power, and then the light and shadow of a huge six-winged Peking appeared behind Xiaoping, soaring in the sky with great majesty. The light and shadow of the Peking appeared. Then it sank into the top of Xiaoping's head. Immediately, Xiaoping's entire figure began to glow and expand. In the light, Xiaoping's figure became like a giant, 100 feet tall, and the 6 wings of King Peng turned into Xiaoping's body. 6 arms, and then, Xiaoping grew 3 heads, and his whole person suddenly became 3 heads and 6 arms, as if the devil had descended, and his whole body was filled with a terrifying and majestic aura. This is the secret method of the spiritual world, Xiaoping's Peking Dharma body. Once this Dharma body appears, with 3 heads and 6 arms, the whole person's combat power can directly increase by more than 3 times. Xiaoping has never revealed such a secret method easily before, but here, in front of facing the sky full of secret classics, that's another story. With 3 heads and 6 arms, you can read 3 secret books at once and triple the efficiency of your time here. Such a secret technique can only be cast in such a space. If such a secret technique was used in the private reading room before, it would be meaningless. Secondly, when the body of the law comes out, it can destroy the tower. But even so, Xiaoping was not satisfied. After revealing his Pengwang Dharma body, Xiaoping pinched another Dharma art with both hands. The Peking Dharma body with 3 heads and 6 arms suddenly split into 2, turning into 2 identical ones. This is Xiaoping, this is the secret method of summoning that Xiaoping has mastered, the technique of clones of compatriots. The origin of this secret method is so mysterious that Xiaoping can't even think of it. This secret method is the perfect integration of Bangu's world beads and then the perfect integration of Ban Chao's world beads. This secret method appeared in the secret mandala. Bangu and Ban Chao were twins. Xiaoping guessed that it might be related to this. As soon as the 2 3-headed and 6-armed Peking Dharma bodies appeared, they no longer wasted time. The 6 arms waved to the sky, and 6 dazzling stars fell down, turning into 6 secret books, which were read by 6 heads at the same time. Like this, as a result, Xiaoping's learning efficiency in this secret cultivation tower was 6 times that of normal. One of the secret books is the true canon of 10,000 formations of harmony that Xiaoping had been thinking about before. Xiaoping was immersed in this world of classics and secrets, and gradually forgot about time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 1043. 3 years later, the dark crystal door of the secret cultivation tower slid like liquid, revealing Xiaoping's figure standing in the deep tunnel behind the door. Xiaoping slowly walked out of the secret cultivation tower, and entered. Compared with before, Xiaoping's whole temperament has an indescribable sense of tranquility and tranquility. This temperament is in sharp contrast to the temperament he had when he came out of the God of War arena. The blend of temperament gave Xiaoping an unspeakable deep and majestic charm. Lord Longhuan, welcome out of seclusion. Standing in front of the secret cultivation tower to greet Xiaoping was the puppet mechanism man who took him into the secret cultivation tower in the first place. In 3 years, it seemed to the puppet mechanism man that just like yesterday, no trace was left on his body. Behind the puppet machine man, next to the huge metal pipe, the small house-like elevator was already waiting for Xiaoping. 3 years, time flies so fast. Xiaoping looked at the underground space, and then at the secret cultivation tower behind him. The light in his eyes was flowing, and there was a calm look that understood all the mysteries. On his face, Xiaopinggan did not speak, but walked calmly towards the little house. The puppet machine man entered the room and began to operate the buttons and levers in the small room. Then the next second, the small room entered the metal pipe and began to soar toward the ground like a rocket. "Aren't you going to take me back to the Sutra collection hall?" Xiaopinggan looked at the operation of the puppet machine man and discovered the problem. The instructions of the puppet machine man on the operating table were not to allow the underground shuttle to return Tibetan scripture hall, but go somewhere else. If Xiaopinggan knew nothing about the products of Dudaran's mechanical talisman civilization 3 years ago, then now, he took a look at the strange characters and buttons on the console in this small room and already knew it. How should the underground shuttle be used? To outsiders, Xiaopinggan had only been in seclusion for 3 years, but to Xiaopinggan, he had been in seclusion for 180 years instead of 3 years. 1/10 of the time flow rate in the secret cultivation tower turned 3 years into 30 years, and the superimposed effect of Xiaopinggan's secret method turned 30 years into 180 years. He has been studying for the past 180 years, using his photographic memory to crazily study various classics and secrets in the secret cultivation tower, absorbing the knowledge and secrets that he did not know before. At this moment, Xiaopinggan's mind, what he is wearing can already make him one of the most knowledgeable and wise beings in the universe. After hearing Xiaopinggan's words, the puppet machine slowly turned around. The light blue light in the puppet machine's eyes suddenly changed from light green to dark green, and even the voice became that of another slightly older person. He said, "I just received an order from the Black Flame Department and I need to send you directly to a special place. The Black Flame Department has a formal mission to contact you." "Okay, I understand, thank you." Xiaopinggan nodded to the puppet mechanism man with no surprise, and then said calmly, "By the way, you are a fusion of the mechanism puppet technique and the secret method of the 10,000 gods transformation Yuanjing. In fact, there is still a slight flaw in the puppet's spirit transferring technique. When the machine puppet transforms with the soul, the speed is about 0.2 seconds slower. Your original body will also have a short chain anchoring gap during this 0.2 seconds. If you encounter to a top soul master, this is your flaw. He can lock the location of your true self through the puppet machine in front of you. There are 2 ways to solve this problem. The first one is that you can use the golden crystal at the heart of the machine puppet. Add a little chaos crystal into it, and use the magic rune method to solidify the image of your magic chain in the crystal. This method is a little easier. Hearing Xiaopinggan's side, the voice of the puppet machine changed again, with a hint of shock and respect. The puppet machine saluted Xiaopinggan and asked in a slightly excited and respectful voice, This secret method of puppet clone is indeed not perfect enough, and there are indeed some flaws in the eyes of experts. I have been looking for a solution so that my puppet clone technique can reach a higher level. I didn't expect that it was discovered by Senior at a glance today. I would like to ask Senior, what about that? How about the second method?" Xiaopinggan smiled softly. "For the second method, you can find the answer from the classic void goo technique in the Buddhist scripture Pagoda. I'm sorry, according to the regulations of the Buddhist scripture Pagoda, I am not allowed to. The content of the classic secret book is taught to a third party, and it can only tell you where the answer is. You can go and see it after you have accumulated enough military merit points." "Thank you, Senior, thank you, Senior." The puppet agency man was so excited that he saluted Xiaopinggan again. In the field of secret arts, there is no priority in learning, and those who master come first. Xiaopinggan knows something that that person does not know, and Xiaopinggan can teach that person. This is a well-deserved senior. This guidance is like the guidance of a famous teacher. It is hard-earned and depends on opportunity. Without this opportunity, even 100 years later, those who don't understand will still not understand, and the bottleneck will still be the bottleneck. You're welcome. There are so many puppet agencies in Wolong territory serving everyone. Half of these puppet agencies are your clones. You have worked hard. Let me ask, how many puppet clones do you have now? There are now more than 5 million. The puppet machine man replied respectfully, every year, more than 100,000 puppet clones of different types will be added according to the needs of the Wolong territory. Many puppet machine clones are here, doing dangerous and hard work underground or in some dangerous places. You set up a puppet production factory in the secret mandala. Yes, if it weren't for this, I wouldn't be able to create so many puppets in a year. That's it, Xiaoping'an nodded. Many summoners who take special routes, after advancing to demigods, have secret mandala in all kinds of strange ways. The person in front of him has probably turned his secret mandala into a super puppet. Once the factory is established, people who create puppet machines will have little reliance on divine power, but will have a heavy reliance on resources. Senior, are you also proficient in the art of puppet mechanism? The puppet mechanism person asked humbly. I just know a little bit. I have another question to ask. The two chatted, and time passed quickly. After just a few minutes, they stopped in the small room. The puppet machine opened the door. Outside the small room, there was another scene, a spacious and bright underground room. The lobby appeared in front of Xiaoping'an, and a man with a black flame mask on his face was already standing outside the door waiting for him. From the man's body, Xiaoping'an felt the aura of the god, and the mask on the man's face was the symbol of the middle and high-level members of the Black Flame Department. Xiaoping'an walked out of the room. The door of the room was closed and disappeared in an instant. I know you came out of the secret cultivation tower today. For confidentiality reasons, I specially asked you to come here. Please don't mind, the masked man who was waiting for Xiaoping'an said to Xiaoping'an, and then he did not forget to introduce himself. I am the leader of the 10,000 Stars Hall of the Black Flame Department. You should also be aware of the responsibilities of our 10,000 Stars Hall. We have completed some special tasks of the Black Flame Department. As a member of the Black Flame, Xiaoping'an knew Wangxingtang, which is one of the most mysterious departments in the Black Flame. All tasks are highly confidential and full of strange things. Xiaoping'an walked over and looked at the environment here. He felt that this should be part of the grand underground building complex, so he asked, where is this place? I have never heard of such a place underground in Wolong territory before. Many facilities. This is one of Black Flame's underground bases in the Wolong territory. It is mainly used by Wangxingtang. Because you are a newcomer, you have not had the opportunity to come into contact with the dungeons of the Wolong territory. What does Wangxingtang want from me? I think you can guess the reason. Xiaoping'an sighed softly, is it related to my divination ability? Yes, your divination ability is very rare. Because you were practicing in the secret cultivation tower, I didn't look for you before. Now that you are out, you should be more confident about this task. The man looked at Xiaoping'an and said, then he made a gesture of invitation, let's go inside and talk. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 1044. The leader of Wangxing Hall took Xiaoping'an directly to a hall. With a wave of his hand, the entire hall turned into a huge three-dimensional map. In that map, countless crushed mountains could be faintly seen. Land, stars, dark red lightning, but from the perspective of God in this hall, those shattered mountains, land, and stars are as small as dust. Countless dust condenses together, slowly like a galaxy. Rotating slowly, like duckweed around a turbulent vortex. The scene on this three-dimensional map was no stranger to Xiaoping'an. He recognized it at a glance. This was the Black Dragon territory where he had fought before. You should be familiar with this place, right? The leader of Wangxing Hall asked Xiaoping'an. Yes, this is the Black Dragon domain, Xiaoping'an nodded and said. Do you know what's special about the central area of the Black Dragon domain? The leader of Wangxing Hall asked again, then he stretched out a finger and pointed at a location on the map. The three-dimensional map in this room suddenly zooming in, the central area of the Black Dragon domain suddenly appeared in front of Xiaoping'an. The central area was a dark and huge black hole in space. The black hole was like a monster's ferocious mouth. Countless lightnings were the beasts in the black hole. The teeth are gushing out in the black hole, which is daunting. I heard that the central area of the Black Dragon territory leads to a place called the Spiritual Desolate Secret Realm. The Spiritual Desolate Secret Realm is quite mysterious. It can connect the God Realm and the Black Dragon territory. The forces in the Spiritual Desolate Secret Realm are complex. There are powerful people like Yun, there are countless strange beasts and various secret treasures. The origin of the Linghuang secret realm can even be traced back to the age of the ancient gods. In the travel note Yuanji Tanju, 2 guesses were made about the origin of the Linghuang secret realm. One guess is that the Linghuang secret realm is the initial place where the ancient god clan created life and all things. Another guess is that the Linghuang secret realm is where the ancient god clan's divine court was. Because the situation in the Linghuang secret realm is too complicated, the dominant demon god neither the forces of the Lord of Heaven nor the Lord of Heaven were able to completely control this place, and the reason why the Black Dragon territory was completely destroyed in the Divine War was that the two lords were competing for the dominance of the secret realm of spiritual desolation. Xiaoping'an's calm and clear voice resounded in the room, and the master of Wangxing Hall nodded secretly, yes. It seems that you have read a lot of classic secret books in the secret cultivation tower in the past 3 years, even Yuanji Tong I have seen such obscure books as you. Is the mission you are talking about related to the spiritual wilderness secret realm? Xiaoping'an asked. Yes, the leader of Wangxing Hall admitted, and his voice became serious, there are some situations in the Linghuang secret realm that you don't know. According to the information we got, there is a Yuan in the Linghuang secret realm. Ji Temple, in this temple, there is a treasure artifact called Chaos Yuanji Lock. This Chaos Yuanji Lock is one of the most precious treasures of the ancient gods. If this thing is obtained by the dominant demon god, it will be extremely detrimental to us. On the contrary, if we get this Chaos Yuanji Lock, it will be very detrimental to the side of the dominant demon god. So for countless years, the dominant demon god and we have sent countless strong men to the spiritual desolate secret realm, trying to fight for this Chaos Yuanji Lock. Xiaoping'an's brows moved, is this Chaos Yuanji Lock the legendary Dao artifact? Yes, this Chaos Yuanji Lock is the legendary Dao artifact. It was born from the chaos of the Dao of heaven and earth. It has infinite mysterious power. To compete for such a treasure, it would not be surprising even if a 9th level god or a higher level god is sent to go there. Why does Wang Xingtang think that I am a suitable candidate? More than one of the god level experts we dispatched has entered the Yuanji temple. It is from the mouths of those who have entered the Yuanji temple and come back alive that we have obtained some crucial information about the Yuanji temple. According to the information, there is a terrifying maze in the Yuanji temple. This maze should have evolved from the kingdom of the ancient gods. In the maze, you will face important choices related to life and death at any time. Entering such a maze, the death of the god is also a normal thing, but there is a kind of person who can seek good luck and avoid evil in the maze, like a fish in water, and can enter the depths of Yuanji temple. The leader of Wangxing Hall looked piercingly at Xiaoping'an's face. You should have guessed what ability that is. Xiaoping'an took a deep breath, his face became serious, and he finally understood something. It's a powerful divination technique. Yes, the powerful divination technique can give those who enter the Yuanji temple an absolute advantage when faced with the choice of life and death. They can enter the depths of the temple, thus greatly increasing the possibility of obtaining the Chaos Yuanji Lock. I won't be the first person you send to carry out this kind of mission, right? Have you never succeeded before? The leader of Wang Xingtang shook his head slightly. This task is the number 1 task of Wang Xingtang. We did send more than one person to carry out this kind of task, but the situation in the Linghuang secret realm is not as complicated as usual, because the existence of the Chaos Yuanji lock and the great law of the entire spiritual desolate secret realm will greatly suppress the strength of all the strong men in the secret realm. This suppression will be more serious than in the land of Divine Seal. Yes, I have seen relevant introductions in Yuanji Tanju, but I didn't expect that the situation in the Linghuang secret realm would be related to the Chaos Yuanji lock, Xiaopingan said, slightly surprised. Yes, most people don't know this. The real situation is that the space laws of the land of Divine Seals are affected by the Chaos Yuanji lock. That's why everyone can't sense and use the 5 elements without using the forbidden armor. Power, and in the secret realm of spiritual wilderness in the core area affected by the Chaos Yuanji lock, this kind of suppression will be even more serious. Xiaopingan was really surprised, and was slightly shocked in his heart. He didn't expect that the Chaos Yuanji lock was so terrifying. Is the Great Dao artifact so scary? Of course, this is the terrifying thing about the Dao artifact. If it were an ordinary artifact, it wouldn't be worth fighting for with so many powerful forces. The laws of the spiritual desolate secret realm are valid for all powerful people and beings in the secret realm. According to the introduction of Yuanji Tanju, even the gods who enter it are not exceptions. This situation is not the same as the spiritual desolate secret realm. Unique, different space planes will have different laws of space planes. Except for the 2 major masters, almost no existence can surpass this point. This situation should not be unfamiliar to the powerful demigods. We in Divine Seal, the strength of the land is originally constrained, and it takes forbidden armor to break this constraint. Everyone is on the same starting line, and there is no question of who has the advantage and who takes advantage. Having said that, there are still a large number of blood descendants of the ancient gods who have existed for countless thousands of years in the secret realm of the spiritual wasteland, who claim to have inherited the blood of the ancient gods, and various battle groups of various sizes. The demons there it is also powerful, and there are also powerful divine beasts and countless powerful men from the Sanchen clan who have gone to the spiritual desolate secret realm for countless thousands of years. The most important point is that the Yuanji temple is also an extremely mysterious existence in the spiritual desolate secret realm. The temple only appears in some mysterious places every hundreds, decades, or thousands of years. It takes great opportunities to enter the Yuanji temple. Many demigods we sent to the secret realm of the spirit wilderness, the strong men and gods, have stayed in the Linghuang secret realm for hundreds of years, and they may have died in the wars and battles in the Linghuang secret realm without even seeing the shadow of the temple. The master of Wangxing Hall sighed softly. Xiaopingan understood that this task was dangerous and uncertain, but he had to find someone to carry it out, so he was selected. Faced with such a result, Xiaopingan didn't know whether he should be proud or helpless. This mission is very dangerous. Xiaopingan looked at the leader of Wangxing Hall. Can I refuse? Of course you can refuse. Even the temple cannot force you to go to a dangerous place to die. If you refuse, you cannot leak anything we are talking about here today. The spiritual desolate secret realm is very dangerous, but it is not more dangerous than the Black Dragon realm. It's not even a death penalty, but the chance of completing this task is too slim. Xiaopingan shook his head. Even if I am in the spiritual desolate secret realm, if we stay here for 100 years, it's possible that the Yuanji temple won't even appear. Yes, this situation may indeed happen, so for those who accept this task, as long as they have entered the secret realm of the spirit wilderness for more than 50 years, they can decide whether they want to continue to complete the task. If they do not want to continue the task, you can come back. Xiaopingan gently rubbed his face and smiled slightly. Yes, this rule is quite humane and will not drive people crazy. In addition, there is another benefit of this mission, that is, all the treasures you get in the spiritual desolate secret realm, even if you find the Chaos Yuanji lock in the end, the things you can control are at your disposal, and there is no need to hand them over. the leader of Wangxing Hall looked at Xiaopinggan, and his tone was a little more encouraging. Your divination ability is very strong, and you will be very successful in the secret realm of the spirit wilderness. Don't you want to try it? Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 1045. 1 year later, deep in the Black Dragon territory. Endless gravel and gravel as big as a house and as small as a lying cow are scattered in the void millions of kilometers around, layer upon layer, like curtains. Because there are too many gravels in this airspace, so in this airspace flying in it feels like walking through sand dunes, which is extremely difficult. These gravels are the traces left in the first two divine battles. After the entire continent was shattered by powerful force, this airspace became what it looked like. Xiaopinggan, whose body was completely hidden in the void by illusion, was flying rapidly in this airspace. Unless he was very close to him, he could not feel the hidden fluctuations caused by Xiaopinggan's flight. According to this speed, in about 10 days, we should be able to fly to the entrance of the spiritual desolate secret realm. Xiaopinggan, who was flying, looked at the secret map in his hand, and a thought flashed through his mind. Yes, Xiaopinggan still accepted this special task from Wang Xingtang. When accepting this task, Xiaopinggan quietly did a divination in the secret mandala. If the result of the divination was bad or very bad, he would not actually do it. I was ready to go, but I didn't expect that the result of the divination was one sentence, good and bad are half mixed, and there is a lot of success in the big battle. It depends on one heart. Because of these words, Xiaopinggan chose to accept this task. Anyway, even if he doesn't accept this task, he will do other tasks, so why not go to the secret realm of spiritual desolation to have a look? Anyway, if this task cannot be completed by then, he can come back. After staying in the secret cultivation tower for so long, to be fair, ordinary military merit points no longer have much appeal to Xiaopinggan. New resources and paths require getting more world beads and looking for opportunities in places with more treasures, and the spiritual wilderness secret realm is a good choice. Xiaopinggan, who accepted this task, was not in a hurry to go to the secret realm of the spiritual desolation immediately. Instead, he rested in Wolong territory for almost 10 months, digested the things he had accumulated in the secret cultivation tower, and prepared some for himself. After taking measures to save his life, he set foot on the teleportation array to the Black Dragon territory again, preparing to pass through the Black Dragon territory to the spiritual wilderness secret realm. At this moment, Xiaopinggan has been trekking in the Black Dragon territory for more than 2 months. Sometimes he flies long distances across millions of miles of space, and sometimes he completes long-distance jumps through the teleportation arrays of the Heavenly Lord's various fortresses in the Black Dragon territory. Teleport, approaching the core area of the Black Dragon territory step by step. The Black Dragon domain is no less big than a solar system, and even a place as big as the solar system is just a drop in the ocean to this world. Xiaopinggan still remembers what he saw when he first entered the realm of gods. The giant tree-like cluster of galaxies represented by this world. Along the way, Xiaopinggan avoided confrontation with the strong men who dominated the demon god side in the Black Dragon domain. Even if he encountered lone enemies a few times, he did not take action. In this way, Xiaopinggan came here all the way. A few days later, as he got closer and closer to the entrance of the Linghuang secret realm, Xiaopinggan became more and more expectant. The Linghuang secret realm was actually a place full of opportunities. The World Pearl and the secret of God in the Linghuang secret realm, it is famous for the large number of hidden objects. Of course, correspondingly, it is also more dangerous there. As he got closer and closer to the entrance of the spiritual desolate secret realm, Xiaopinggan had gradually felt the impact of the space laws in the spiritual desolate secret realm on the Black Dragon territory. Without reducing the consumption of his divine power, his flying speed actually increased. It is gradually decreasing, although the decrease is not much. After flying forward for a day, the flight speed has only decreased by less than 3%. However, for the demigods, the feeling that their strength is limited by the law is already very obvious. The influence of Dao artifacts like the Chaos Yuanji lock is too terrifying. This is still in the Black Dragon territory. If you enter the spiritual desolate secret realm, you will only have a tiny bit of terrifying power left. No wonder the two masters everyone wants to control the Chaos Yuanji lock. This Chaos Yuanji lock should still be an ownerless thing, and its influence is so terrifying. If someone really gets this Chaos Yuanji lock, wouldn't it be possible to use this great avenue artifact to ban the gods at will? Xiaopingan, who was flying in the void, felt the changes in the power of the five elements in the surrounding space and whispered to himself. Xiaopingan felt that it was reasonable for the two masters to fight for such a great avenue artifact in person, but why was this thing still in the secret realm of the spiritual desolation? It should be that the two masters are in a certain state of balance to restrain each other, or that a great avenue artifact like the Chaos Yuanji lock will have an adverse effect on the master who breaks through the laws of space within its scope of influence, and regard the master who takes action as an enemy, so this things can only be fought for by the subordinates of the two masters. Xiaopingan thought and gave his answer in his heart. He had read a secret book before, and the secret book contained an introduction to the Dao artifacts. Some Dao artifacts may give birth to their own wisdom and spirituality. There is no change. I guess, if the Chaos Yuanji lock is really like this, it's hard to say. This may be the reason why the Yuanji temple has been so erratic, because the Yuanji temple is just the place where the Chaos Yuanji lock lives, and the appearance and hiding of the temple is entirely dependent on controlled by Chaos Yuanji lock. Just when the huge entrance to the spiritual desolate secret realm had appeared in the void in front of Xiaopingan's sight, and he would be able to fly there in a day or two, a warning sign suddenly appeared in Xiaopingan's heart while he was flying, and his whole body suddenly became violent. He was startled and suddenly stopped in the air. Xiaopingan's heart was beating violently, and the hairs on his neck instinctively exploded one by one. He looked at the surrounding void with concentration. There was deathly silence in the surrounding void, and there were no people left, everywhere. The large and small rocks looked normal, but further away, in the void more than 100,000 kilometers away, there was a bit of deep darkness, and red lightning faintly appeared in the darkness. That was the spiritual wilderness. The entrance to the secret realm. Just when Xiaopingan was about to retreat slowly, the large and small stones floating in the void within a radius of tens of thousands of kilometers around him shattered piece by piece without warning and turned into more subtle existences. A giant net flashing with a faint red light appeared in the void around Xiaopingan, covering millions of square kilometers of airspace, overwhelming the sky, so any stone that touched this giant net would be invisible. The shattering of sound. Xiaopingan's invisibility illusion was immediately broken when the giant net appeared, and Xiaopingan's figure was also revealed. It's not easy. It's been 4 years and I finally waited for you. A voice appeared in the entire void. As this voice appeared, a faint red light suddenly emitted from the void hundreds of kilometers in front of Xiaopingan. The red light slowly turned into a circular portal several meters high. A man more than 3 meters tall, wearing blood-colored clothes, the figure of a man wearing a forbidden armor with dark patterns, a flame-shaped eye between his eyebrows, and a faint blood-colored halo behind his head walked out of the circular portal with flashing red light. Yes, we have finally waited. It is not unjust for you to die here today. It was a woman's voice, extremely cold. Then a woman wearing a pure black snake face mask with a bloody halo behind her head followed the man and walked out of the circular portal in the void, looking at Xiaopingan coldly. As soon as he saw these two god-level powerhouses, Xiaopingan understood that these two people were the two god-level powerhouses who had been chasing him in the Black Dragon territory. However, he did not expect that these two god-level powerhouses would kill him in the Black Dragon territory. The powerful person at the top level actually waited here for 4 years. Looking at the two people who appeared, Xiaopingan smiled and did not panic. I'm sorry to keep you waiting for so long. I didn't expect a god-level powerhouse to be so idle. To deal with a little person like me, two people are dispatched. I'm really flattered. A person with such powerful divination skills can easily escape from the people we are chasing. How can he be a small person? The man looked at Xiaopingan and slowly raised a hand. The terrifying power fluctuations suddenly spread from all directions, covering tens of thousands of square kilometers of space around Xiaopingan. The level and intensity of the energy fluctuations, which was several times larger than ordinary divine skills. The huge net in the sky also shrank rapidly at the same time, shrouding Xiaopingan. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 1046. Facing the dragnets shrinking from all directions and the divine skills performed by the god-level experts, Xiaopingan seemed unhurried, and there was not even a trace of panic on his face. His calmness made the god-level powerful man became a little confused and made the man who used the divine skill slow down his movements a little. When the man slowed down, he had already winked at the woman beside him. The woman also knew what the man was worried about. She suddenly flew up from the man's side, and with a move of her hand, there was a pair of huge penises. The moon-shaped scimitar was flying around the woman, emitting a cold brilliance, showing a warning look towards the endless void behind Xiaopingan. Haha, don't be so nervous, it's just me. Xiaopingan looked at the two god-level experts with a smile. My greatest advantage is accepting my fate. Now that I have fallen into your ambush, naturally you guys are one step ahead. With my ability, I might be able to fight against a few powerful demigods. Facing powerful gods like you, I don't have to struggle and humiliate myself. I'm not a fool anyway. Our opponents, I'm just wondering, how did you know I would come here, and how could you actually set up an ambush here and wait for me to be caught? Upon hearing what Xiaopingan said, the expressions on the faces of the two god-level experts relaxed a little. The man sneered twice, with a look of pride and cruelty on his face. You are indeed proud. Qualifications can force the two of us to complete this task in 4 years. However, since you can escape from our tracking many times, we guess that you may possess powerful prophecy or divination skills. Since we cannot locking you, just come here and wait for you to come to your door. There is only one entrance to the Linghuang secret realm, and since you have that kind of ability, it is very likely that you will be sent to the Linghuang secret realm to search for the Chaos Yuanji lock. Judging from the results of the mission, we made the right bet. Since you are so obedient and sensible, I will let you die quickly. So that's it. Xiaopingan smiled bitterly. Since the Lord Demon God sent two god-level powerful men to chase me, and they are still so persistent, waiting for several years, I am really flattered. You are all like this when you perform tasks. Do you accept death and will not give up until you achieve your goal? For us, enemies who possess powerful prophecies and divination secrets are priority to be eliminated. No matter how much it costs or how long it takes, they are worth it. I see, I am not unjust when I fall into your hands this time. I don't know what your surnames are, how do you call them? Monterre, I think this kid is very cunning. Don't talk to him. Kill him immediately. The woman frowned at the side, feeling slightly uneasy, and immediately urged. Zolin, don't worry, this kid is already a piece of cake on our chopping board, what else is there to worry about? The man laughed, looked at Xiaopingan with cruel eyes, and licked his lips. I want to. Let's see what this guy can say before he dies. The more alive this guy is, the more interesting it will be to kill him later. Did you hear that? Why does a woman get in the way of a man talking? You are probably wearing that mask because you are ugly and no one wants you. If you fall into my hands, you will suffer a lot, Xiaoping'an said. He curled his lips and said to the woman, seeking death. The woman was furious all of a sudden, her eyes flashed with cold light, and the two moon-shaped scimitars flying around her instantly cut through the void, like two streams of light, one on the left and one on the right, towards Xia. Ping'an was killed. The speed of the two-rounded scimitar was too fast. It flew hundreds of kilometers in the blink of an eye. The moon-shaped sword cut through the void. Along the way, even the dust in the void was chopped, melted, and decomposed. It is the basic power of the five elements, extremely powerful and incredibly fast. Seeing the woman take action, the man stopped talking nonsense and stretched out his fingers to grab it. The big net in the void suddenly closed in from all directions with surging pressure, approaching 10,000 meters around Xiaoping'an's body in the blink of an eye. Within. The deity's actions are really powerful. Xiaoping'an watched the two people take action attentively, just like a bystander. They did not move, but said softly, "This power is very powerful for those who have mastered the deity skills. It is completely difficult for a strong demigod to resist, and he can crush him with 3 moves and 2 moves." As soon as he finished speaking, Xiaoping'an's neck and body had been slashed by 2 moon-shaped scimitars. His head flew up and his body was split into 2. Then the large glowing net around him shrank, and from between Xiaoping'an's body, after passing through it, Xiaoping'an's body suddenly turned into thousands of pieces. The two people originally thought that Xiaoping'an would at least resist and struggle, and would not sit back and wait to be killed without any suspense. However, they did not expect that Xiaoping'an did not even resist, which made the two of them stunned. But in the next second, in the slightly horrified eyes of the two people who took action, the body fragments of Xiaoping'an, who had been broken to pieces, gathered together strangely again, and transformed into Xiaoping'an again. Then, under the eyes of the two of them, the reunited Xiaoping'an turned into a life-size paper man. The paper man's body, chest, belly, descendants, arms, and thighs were densely packed with countless golden talismans. And at the same time, there was a drop of luminous blood on the paper man's eyebrows, spinning and starting to burn, and then the entire paper man also burned. The paper man smiled, "Since you know that I am very good at divination, do you really think that I will fall into the trap of you two idiots without any preparation? Ha ha ha, don't think that others are as stupid as you, let you be proud now. Wait for a while, I will take care of you in the future." While laughing, the paper man turned into a pile of ashes in the blink of an eye and dissipated into the void, leaving nothing behind. It's a secret fusion of flesh and blood puppets, talisman substitutes, and paper manufacturing skills. The man named Montale roared angrily, his face extremely ugly. This person must be in the nearby airspace. No matter how powerful the flesh puppet and various substitute secrets are, the distance from the master will not be more than 100,000 kilometers. The woman also screamed fiercely. In the midst of the scream, the woman, hundreds of huge blood-red foxtails suddenly appeared behind him, and then as the foxtails swayed, the long red hairs on the foxtails turned into individual hairs. The fox, glowing red, surged out from behind the woman like a flood, blinking all over the surrounding space. The little foxes also shook their tails, letting the hairs on their tails fly up. In just the blink of an eye, hundreds of millions of fox hairs spread all over the space, spreading around. Shining light, floating in the void, like probes. The man was not idle either. With his roar, the secret pattern of flames between his eyebrows turned into an open eye. A ray of light shot out from the eye between his eyebrows and formed in the sky. A huge eye with a radius of more than 10 kilometers scans the surrounding airspace like a huge radar. With the efforts of these two people, half a minute later, the long fox hair floating in the sky and the huge eye almost simultaneously discovered anomalies in the void more than 5,000 kilometers away behind them. The countless fox furs were instantly alarmed, and the beast suddenly flew towards the area more than 5,000 kilometers away like a tide. The giant eye in the sky also shot out a beam of brilliance, covering the 5,000 space kilometers away. In that airspace, a human-shaped hollow could be vaguely seen flying rapidly towards the entrance of the spiritual wilderness secret realm. "Watch where you run." The two powerful gods roared and rushed towards the hidden figure. The figure flying rapidly in the void also knew that he had been discovered, and suddenly accelerated violently, rushing towards the secret realm of the spirit wilderness. The flying speed of the powerful god is much faster than that of the hidden figure, almost twice as fast. Just when the figures of the two gods rushed out 2,000 kilometers, and the figure fleeing in the void was close to 4,000 kilometers again, the advancing figures of the two powerful gods were suddenly blocked by hit by countless blood-red lightnings. Their figures suddenly shone brightly like torches lit in the night sky, and a huge black formation sphere with a radius of more than 2,000 kilometers enveloped them. The countless foxes in the void, as well as the giant eye, turned into light and disappeared at the same time when the two were enveloped in the formation. The black formation ball vaguely smells like the Chaos Immortal Locking 10,000 Techniques Forbidden Formation, but it is obviously different from the previous Chaos Locking Immortal 10,000 Techniques Forbidden Formation. The outside of the formation sphere, surrounded by countless chains made of lightning and runes, showing terrifying power, and the entire ball looked like a black sun that was collapsing towards the inside. Half an hour later, Xiaoping's figure appeared behind the route where the two powerful gods had just flown. Xiaoping was wearing the forbidden armor. On the outside of the forbidden armor, there was a strange shaped ring. It was the fusion of the Heaven Escape treasure wheel and the forbidden armor. Looking at the 3.0 version of the Chaos Locking Immortal 10,000 Techniques Forbidden Formation that appeared in the void, Xiaoping showed a mocking smile and shook his head gently. "It's a pity that this formation can only ban you two after being trapped here for 3 to 5 days. It is still difficult to kill the god with this large formation, but it is enough for you to drink a pot." This time, although they did not kill these two powerful gods, they were defeated twice in front of Xiaoping, which was definitely a huge blow and humiliation to their confidence. Xiaoping, who muttered to himself, did not waste any time and flew forward quickly, ignoring the two people trapped in the formation. After flying thousands of kilometers, Xiaoping made a move with his hand in the void. Another Xiaoping appeared in the void and flew towards him. When the two Xiaoping approached, the Xiaoping appeared behind him. Ping'an suddenly turned into a paper man with talismans all over his body, with a nose and eyes. He was suddenly taken into his secret mandala by Xiaoping, and Xiaoping's figure disappeared again. 2 days later, Xiaoping flew to the entrance of the Linghuang secret realm and plunged in. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 1047. Is this the secret realm of Linghuang? When the terrifying pressure of time travel and the darkness that absorbed all light in front of him subsided, Xiaoping found that he was already in a strange environment. Xiaoping has experienced many time travels, but this time was the most challenging. When he just passed through the entrance to the secret realm of spiritual desolation, he was faced with the terrifying pressure and pulling force in the black hole of space, as well as lightning as dense as rain. It's enough to turn the hardest steel into powder. If Xiaoping wasn't a demigod-level expert and wore a forbidden armor, he wouldn't have been able to survive through the entrance to the spiritual desolate secret realm with a body strength below that of a demigod. This world. At this moment, above his head was a beautiful blue sky as pure and flawless as glass. A scorching sun hung in the sky, and around him were huge trees over 100 meters high and various kinds of trees. The plants are lush and lush, a little too lush. The green mountains in the distance are as green as dragons, shrouded in a misty smoke, and there is a faint and terrifying monster that looks like an ox but not a cow, like a tiger but not a tiger. The roar came from the mountains hundreds of kilometers away, echoing in the air. There was also a terrifying aura lingering in the mountains in the distance. This is the depth of the mountain, and the surrounding air is filled with an unspeakable aura of the wilderness. This aura is full of rich flavor of life and vitality, but it also gives people an inexplicable sense of oppression, as if they are in it's the same as the arena, telling you that the weak don't deserve to survive here. While Xiaopinggan was sizing up the surrounding environment, he quickly pulled a leaf beside him and applied a powerful magic disguise on himself, which was a combination of blindness and illusion, making his body transparent and blending into the world like a chameleon. In the surrounding environment, and the whole person's aura was completely hidden and blended into the surrounding environment, Xiaopinggan's heart gradually settled down. The blinding leaf spell must be cast with the help of surrounding leaves to best conceal one's breath. If leaves brought from other places are used, although the blinding leaf spell can also be cast, there is always a trace of it. The flaw is that it cannot be completely integrated into the local environment. This is the secret of magic props. Then, Xiaopinggan tried to summon the green messenger, and the result was as he expected. The summoned green messenger's body became a bit illusory in this world, like a three-dimensional projection, just flapping its wings in front of him to maintain. After a few seconds, it slowly turned into transparent light and shadow and disappeared. Xiaopinggan once again summoned an ordinary farmer. The figure of the summoned farmer was also illusory and hazy. After appearing in front of him for a few seconds, the farmer slowly disappeared. In the invisible void and every inch of air around him, there seemed to be an invisible hand and chain preventing the summoner's summoning spell from condensing and taking shape in this world. As expected, the laws of the secret realm of spiritual desolation have a huge suppressive effect on the summoning spells of summoners. All the summoning spells of summoners who come to this world can only summon existences similar to spiritual bodies, and the summoned spirits, the time the body can survive in this world is pitifully short. Only by integrating the summoned spirit body into the tree of life in the spiritual wilderness world will the tree of life in this world give the summoner the flesh and blood body of the summoned spirit body. Xiaopinggan whispered to himself. Before coming to the secret realm of Linghuang, he had done enough homework and had enough understanding of the world. The laws of this world are completely different for the summoner. The things summoned by the summoner, it is necessary to use a special plant in this world called the Tree of Life to be condensed and formed. The process of the Tree of Life, which condenses, shapes and births the spiritual bodies summoned by magic, is exactly the same as creating a real life with a real body and flesh and blood. In other worlds, if a summoner summons a person, it can only be maintained by consuming the summoner's divine power or drinking a little water. But in this world, the person summoned by the summoner has been born through the condensation of the Tree of Life, and has become a real person. Likewise, you need to eat, drink, and defecate to survive. The advantage of this is that the summoned objects born from the Tree of Life have no concept of the arrival time of the plane. As long as they are not killed due to sudden reasons, the summoned characters will experience the same birth, old age, illness, and death as normal life. The entire life process. Compared with the simple and clear summoning spells in the past, Xiaopinggan didn't know whether the summons created by the fusion of the summoner's summoning spells and the Tree of Life in the secret realm of the spirit wilderness were progress or regression. In addition to the changes in the summoning techniques of the summoner, the power of the 5 elements of space that the summoner can mobilize in this world has also become extremely thin. Whether it is the combination of magic and martial arts combat skills, or the power of the spiritual skills mastered, the laws are so suppressed that in the normal universe, the terrifying power of the summoner's divine skill, which can shatter the hills and continents hundreds of kilometers away with one punch, is completely impossible to see in the spiritual desolate secret realm. However, this actually has little impact on summoners, because the laws of the spiritual world treat all summoners and beings who enter here equally, which is very fair. Rookies in the outside world are still rookies when they enter here. In the outside world, the strong god who entered this world is still the strong god, and the comparison of everyone's strength has not changed at all. What makes summoners in this world most uncomfortable is actually that the amount of divine power that the summoner's secret mandala can restore every month in this world has directly become 1% of what it was before. It used to restore 30,000 points of divine power every month. The secret mandala, after coming to this world, will restore 300 points of divine power every month. In this way, the cost of performing various summoning spells in this world will become higher, and the divine crystals in this world will become more precious. Fortunately, the forbidden armor is still useful in this world. The ability to fly has not been lost, but the flying speed has become only a little faster than ordinary birds. Only by igniting a wisp of divine fire and advancing to the level of God, the flying speed will increase again. Xiaopingyan tried his flying ability and immediately fell back to the ground. After adapting to the situation in front of him, Xiaopingyan performed a divination technique. The divination technique showed that walking to the east was auspicious, so Xiaopingyan walked through the heavy trees and vegetation on the ground and groped towards the east. It's not that Xiaopingyan doesn't want to fly, but Xiaopingyan feels that it is the stupidest behavior to completely expose oneself while flying in the air when arriving in such a strange and dangerous place for the first time. A few hours later, Xiaopingyan had walked more than 200 kilometers to the east, and the trees around him gradually became sparse. Then, Xiaopingyan felt a slight vibration coming from the ground under his feet. This vibration was very rhythmic, every 10 seconds. After a few seconds, a shaking feeling came from under his feet, as if something huge was approaching from behind the hill next to him. This made Xiaopingyan suddenly alert and quickly found a place to hide himself. Body shape. 10 minutes later, as the shaking feeling became stronger and stronger, suddenly, the sky darkened, and a giant thing behind the hill appeared, blocking the sun in the sky, and dropped dozens of square meters of light on the ground. Kilometers of huge shaded area. Xiaopingyan looked up and saw a huge emerald green foot more than 1,000 meters long crossing from behind the hill. He crossed the top of the mountain in one step and reached several thousand meters away. The big feet landed on the ground, and the surrounding ground shook slightly. As the big feet crossed over, a huge figure appeared behind the hill. Above the feet was a huge tree walking on the earth like a human being. The top of the tree was more than 1,000 meters high. In the sky, there is also a huge city covering an area of more than 10 square kilometers. Xiaopingyan was stunned by this sight, and a word suddenly popped out of his mind: Tree of Life. In the blink of an eye, the second foot of the giant tree supporting the city flashed over Xiaopingyan's head. Xiaopingyan's heart moved, and he jumped up quickly to catch up with the giant foot. It's attached to the calf of that giant foot. The foot is so big that Xiaopingyan doesn't know whether the outer layer of the Tree of Life's foot should be called bark or skin. The wrinkles under the bark are as hard as granite, and the lines are like curved mountain ridges. Just like the ravine, it is no problem to hide hundreds of elephants, not to mention one Xiaopingyan. The Tree of Life walked towards the northeast step by step. The Tree of Life walked very slowly and calmly, but even so, that step was still several thousand meters away, which was faster than flying. Xiaopingyan was attached to one leg, and he felt like he was swinging in the air. The wind whistled in his ears, and the scenery below flew by under his feet. In just a few hours, the Tree of Life has traveled thousands of kilometers. Suddenly, there was a piercing scream in the sky, and a black mass suddenly jumped out from the clouds above the head and rushed towards the Tree of Life below. There were thousands of things flying out from the clouds, 4 monsters with dark scales on their bodies, hands, and feet, and huge bat-like wings on their backs. They had horns on their heads and weapons like forks in their hands. They all had ferocious faces, blood-red eyes, and fangs turned outwards. With a wave of their hands, large fireballs blasted towards the city above the walking Tree of Life. Demons. Xiaopingyan's heart trembled. The city's arrow towers and fortresses above the Tree of Life immediately began to fight back, shooting various thick arrows, and also flying fireballs to bombard those demons. The hands of the Tree of Life, which was attacked by the demons, began to wave like shooing away flies, blowing through the air like a strong wind. The demons captured by the Tree of Life's hands in the air instantly shattered into pieces and turned into clouds of blood mist in the sky. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 1048. Is this the battle of this world? Xiaopingan hid on the legs of the Tree of Life, watching the rain of fire, blood, arrows, and corpses falling in the sky above his head, and secretly sighed in his heart. The demons flying in the sky have wings and the ability to release simple spells. Judging from the racial pedigree of the demons, they are a branch of the winged demon race among the demons. Although those winged demons are in the city and the Tree of Life, the attacks resulted in a mess of casualties. Winged demons were shot and burned in the air at almost any time, burned, smashed to pieces, and their blood spilled into the sky. However, those winged demons were so fierce that they still flew in the air and screamed, like flying birds fighting fire. The moth is attacking the Tree of Life with no fear of death. A truly cruel battle is like this, and it will not be alleviated slightly by the existence of the chaos Yuanji lock in this world. The life and death struggle at all levels and ranks has never stopped. Those demons flying in the sky are not demigod-level existences. According to the division of this world, they should belong to the level of soldiers created by the demon demigods or the powerful gods using the demon nest. The presence. The mother nest of the demon clan has a function similar to the Tree of Life, which can complete the condensation and birth of life forms. The demon race, according to legend, is a race created by the master demon god himself. According to the standard of strength classification in this world, the levels of soldiers and generals under demigods have a total of 108 levels from low to high. Levels 1 to 72 are soldier levels, levels 73 to 99 are general levels, and 100 level 108 is the king level, and those above the king level are called the creation class. Demigods are also existences above level 108 in this world, and are a separate class. The level of the gods in the spiritual wilderness is also based on their level. Divided by the number of condensed wisps of divine fire, it is the same as in Wolong territory. Xiaopingan estimated that the division of the world from level 1 to level 108 probably corresponded to the strength of the summoner at each stage from the beginning of foundation building to the final growth of the latter bone, but the names were different. Looking at the battle in the sky, Xiaopingan flashed some information about the world and the demons in his mind. He was considering whether to take action and whether it was necessary to take action. The demons are the sons of the dominant demon god, that is, their enemies. According to common sense, the enemies of their enemies should be their friends. If they take action, they will be exposed. The key is that Xiaopingan is not sure what the life tree will be after he is exposed. Will the people above consider me friends? The older Zhanghu gets, the more he understands that the situation in this world is too complicated. And the key point is that Xiaopingan has not seen a demigod-level strongman take action until now. In the city above the Tree of Life, those who fought against the winged demon were always the city's general-level guards. The owner of the Tree of Life doesn't seem to be in a hurry. Under the crazy attacks of those winged demons, the defenses of the city walls and arrow towers above the Tree of Life were gradually broken through. Amidst the screams, Xiaopingan saw some soldiers guarding the walls being beaten by the winged demons. The cities in the sky were picked up and thrown down. Ah! A soldier in the sky who was wearing leather armor guarding the city wall screamed when his body was pierced. The wound was bleeding. He fell from the air next to Xiaopingan, fell heavily to the ground, and turned into the pile of hashed meat was already shapeless. This kind of bloody tragedy will not appear when the soldiers summoned before are fighting with people. When the soldiers summoned before are killed, they will just turn into light and dissipate. In this world, the soldiers summoned will be killed. After being given flesh and blood by the Tree of Life, they started fighting on the battlefield, with blood and flesh flying everywhere. Xiaopingan still didn't take action. If the demigod strongman on the Tree of Life could keep his composure, he would naturally be able to keep his composure even more. After killing some winged demons with the waving hands of the Tree of Life, those winged demons learned to be smart. Their formations in the air began to spread out, and they were able to predict the trajectory of the Tree of Life's waving hands in advance to avoid the attack of the Tree of Life. Although no serious damage could be seen in the attack of those winged demons on the Tree of Life in a short period of time, the damage was always there. Xiaopingyan saw some flying winged demons blasting fireballs on the legs of the Tree of Life and the huge body of the tree. On the trunk of the tree of life was hit by a fireball. The wound was about the size of an umbrella. Like melted rocks, it turned into soft pits with blood-red magma flowing. The stony magma liquid would flowed like blood from the trunk of the Tree of Life with high temperature. Although it solidified in less than half a minute, the wound still existed. Roar! The Tree of Life, waving its huge hands, let out a manic roar. It was like a thunder in the sky, and the area for dozens of kilometers was trembling. The Tree of Life moved forward, covering several miles in one step, trying to get rid of it with speed. The entanglement of these winged demons. Some winged demons were caught off guard in an instant and were thrown away in an instant, while the legs of more winged demons were like steel nails, firmly fixing themselves to the trunk of the Tree of Life and the wall of the city in the sky. Like a gadfly biting a giant bull, biting tightly at the Tree of Life to prevent it from falling down, while the winged demons that were dragged behind quickly rushed over. The battle was still going on, it was brutal and bloody, and the bodies of the winged demons and the soldiers guarding the city fell from the sky at every moment. The Tree of Life strode forward in the wilderness, running wildly with the city in the sky. Xiaopingyan could only see the howling wind in his ears. In a moment, the Tree of Life had already rushed hundreds of kilometers, leaving behind those who had fallen behind. The winged demons behind him were completely thrown away, and the soldiers on the city wall and the fort seemed to have gradually taken control of the situation, blasting away or killing the winged demons that invaded the city wall one by one. The situation seems to be changing for the better. But at this moment, Xiaopingyan suddenly felt a chill in his heart. He felt something. He looked at the sky and saw that above the clouds in the sky, it suddenly darkened. In the next second, the overwhelming winged demons had already emerged from the clouds. He pounced down and blocked the Tree of Life again. There were tens of thousands of winged demons that appeared this time, several times more than those that appeared in the first wave. The formations of those winged demons were like huge and loose rings in all directions, blocking the Tree of Life. The overwhelming fireball appeared in the sky again and blasted towards the Tree of Life. Xiaopingyan screamed in his heart when he saw it. And the next second, countless divine inscriptions suddenly appeared in the sky above the Tree of Life and the city above. Those inscriptions were actually the deformation of the two characters water shield in seal script. Thousands of colored water shields appeared in the sky. In the middle, it swirled around the Tree of Life and the city, blocking all the incoming fireballs. This is a large-scale use of the entire array of talismans. Immediately afterwards, countless buzzing sounds suddenly sounded in the city above the Tree of Life. Just when Xiaopingyan was still surprised, countless bird-shaped metal puppets suddenly flew out of the city and flew towards the winged demons. Those metal puppets are in the shape of birds. Their bodies are only half the size of the winged demon. They fly with flapping wings. They look like they are made of wood. They can spit fire from the back of their buttocks and fly extremely fast. The bird-shaped metal puppets flew into the air in batches and rushed towards the winged demons. As soon as they got close to the winged demons, they turned into violent fireballs and began to explode, dying together with the winged demons one after another in the sky. If those winged demons fly away, those metal puppets will still chase those winged demons in the sky. This is a suicide drone. This scene made Xiaopingyan feel like he was witnessing a grand fireworks show with blood staining the sky in broad daylight. To be honest, this was the first time Xiaopingyan had seen this kind of battle involving a large number of metal puppets and demons, as well as the use of large-scale talisman arrays. It was simply extraordinary. The special abilities of the demigod summoner were so effective in such a battle. In it, it has been displayed to its greatest extent. Even if this world is a spiritual wilderness, it still cannot completely cover up the demeanor of the powerful demigod. The winged demons kept rushing towards the tree of life from all directions, and countless bird-shaped metal puppets in the city above the tree of life continued to rise into the sky and flew towards the winged demons, with violent explosions one after another in the air. It seems that both sides have not revealed their trump cards just now. Du Mingde, hand over the minerals from the divine crystal mine and I will let you leave. A huge thunder-like sound appeared in the sky. After this sound, a cloud layer dissipated in the originally blue sky. Behind the cloud layer, tens of thousands of winged demons neatly sent out an attacking formation in the sky. Wearing a black taboo armor with 2 pairs of golden wings spread out behind him, the powerful winged demon demigod stood in the sky and roared at the tree of life below, "I don't believe you have more puppet warriors than my winged demons. Wait, when your puppet warriors are used up, your tree of life will be destroyed. Choose. Get out of my way." Another voice came from the city in the sky, cursing, "My metal puppets have more fleas than those bats and birdmen you have. If you don't believe it, try it. Give me this set. I really thought your grandfather was scared. When I was a fraudster in the Mote galaxy and was wanted by more than 20,000 countries in the entire galaxy, your grandfather was still sucking milk in the pit. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 1049. Listening to the above conversation, Xiaopingan finally understood why the Tree of Life and the demigod summoner named Du Mingde were intercepted by the demon demigod. The mineral species of the divine crystal mine. This is a treasure, and it is a treasure that can only be seen in the secret realm of spiritual desolation, and cannot be found anywhere else. Because the monthly divine power recovery value of the summoner secret mandala in the spiritual desolate secret realm has been reduced to the extreme, the divine crystals in the spiritual desolate secret realm will be even more precious, and as long as the mineral types of the divine crystal mine are combined with the tree of life, the divine power will be restored. The mineral seeds of the crystal ore can continuously grow or veins like sprouting seeds. In a strange place like the spiritual wilderness secret realm, the summoner's strength will be suppressed by the laws here, and the power of the 5 elements and the energy of heaven and earth that can be mobilized are pitiful. However, this kind of place is extremely rich, with treasures everywhere, and various other places. Unimaginable rare treasures, such as the tree of life and the mineral seeds of the divine crystal mine in front of me. It seems that the suppressed and locked energy has been absorbed by something in this world. This is true to the old saying, if God closes a door for you, he will definitely open a window for you. The battle in the sky continues. The winged demons screamed from all directions and rushed toward the tree of life in circles. The city above the tree of life was like a terrifying beehive. Countless bird-shaped metal puppets rose into the sky from the city to greet them. At those winged demons, one after another rumbling explosions occurred in the air, blowing each winged demon to pieces in the air and turning into a rain of blood and large pieces of skin falling from the air. There are also some bird-shaped metal puppets that will be hit by the winged demon's fireballs and explode in the air, scattering various metal parts and fragments. However, the bird-shaped metal puppets are smaller than the winged demon and are faster and more flexible than the winged demon. There are always only a few people who are actually hit by the winged demon's fireball. Ha ha ha, come on, you bastard, I have a lot of puppets, let's see who can't stand it. In that city, the voice laughed again. More than 10 minutes later, the winged demon demigod in the sky watched his winged demons being killed one after another. In just a short time, he had lost more than 3,000 of his men, and he seemed to be losing his temper. After roaring, 2 pairs of golden wings flew directly towards the city in the sky. When they were still several kilometers away from the city in the sky, a ball of hundreds of millions of people had already condensed. There was a huge black mist more than 1 meter high. There seemed to be countless demons and monsters trying to get out of the black mist. Within the black mist, there were all kinds of painful and ferocious faces of humans and animals. This is a first-level divine skill among demons. Xiaopingyan felt the unique aura of divine skills from the winged demon demigod. Because they are suppressed by the law, the divine skills of the demigods in this world are no longer as terrifying as in the normal world. However, even so, these divine skills are equally terrifying in this world, and have the absolute strength to intimidate and attack strong men of the same level. As for low-level beings, in the face of such divine skills, they are probably either killed or completely crushed. Ha ha ha, are you here? A laugh came from the city in the sky, and then a figure wearing a dark green taboo armor flew up from the city, and he pinched his fingers in mid-air. A huge fire dragon more than 100 meters long appeared behind the man. With a roar, the fire dragon rushed towards the black mist that was blasting over. The two sides collided violently in the air, and a violent shockwave swept across the sky, sending thousands of people around the sky. The winged demons and metal puppets within meters were blown everywhere. After the collision, the black mist turned into thousands of black skulls, and the fire dragon turned into thousands of smaller fire snakes. The fire snakes wrapped around the skull, and the skull opened its mouth to swallow the fire snake. The two sides were suddenly at odds with each other, and neither could do anything to the other. The next second, the demon demigod swung two pairs of golden wings fiercely, and the fluctuations of the divine skills reappeared. Countless wind knives rolled wildly in the sky, forming 4 tornadoes, heading towards the human demigod from 4 directions. The powerful god swept in, and the fluctuations in the divine skills of the human demigod strongman appeared again. Suddenly there was a roar in the air, and the light and shadow of a golden giant bell enveloped the human race. On the body of a powerful demigod. The wind knife tornado blew across the golden bell, and countless harsh sounds of gold and iron clashed in the sky. The golden bell remained unmoved, as steady as Mount Tai. The human demigod inside the bell was strong. The person waved his arms like wheels, and a large, crystal-clear jade hand appeared directly on top of the demon demigod's head, and slapped the demon demigod. The demon demigod spat out a mouthful of blood, which transformed into a 100-meter-long blood knife and slashed towards the big hand. The two demigods began to fight in the air using divine skills, but the winged demons did not relax their attack on the Tree of Life. Bird-shaped metal puppets continued to take off in the city above the Tree of Life, and 2 formations were formed in the sky. On the battlefield, the fighting became more and more intense. Xiaopingyan looked below and found that the demon demigod and the human demigod both mastered about 4 or 5 divine skills. They were of equal strength. If they fought against each other with divine skills, neither one would be able to gain an overwhelming victory. The advantages. However, although the strength of the demigods did not determine the outcome, the battle between the winged demons and the Tree of Life gradually revealed that something was wrong. After consuming 4,000 to 5,000 bird-shaped metal puppets, Xiaopingyan discovered that the Tree of Life, the bird-shaped puppets flying in the city above, became obviously sparse, and seemed to be unable to follow up. They were no longer as dense as before. The winged demon surrounding the Tree of Life quickly broke through the outer defense line composed of bird-shaped metal puppets. He immediately approached the inside of the Tree of Life and began to attack the water shields condensed by the rows of divine runes. And those water shields were not endless. A water shield began to dissipate after being attacked 3 or 4 times. Ha ha ha, Duminged, I was almost deceived. Where are your metal puppets? Why don't you continue to rush out? Ha ha ha, those things of yours have been consumed in the battle to snatch the divine crystal mines, and there is nothing left. Not much. The demon demigod in the sky naturally discovered the situation, and suddenly laughed arrogantly and ferociously. With a wave of his hand, those dark wings in the sky that had not been engaged in battle before were circling around the perimeter. All the demons rushed toward the tree of life. Today I will destroy your tree of life, and I will kill you here. Dream, I will kill you first and use you to make soup. The strong human demigod named Du Ming roared, his face turned sharp, and he released a fire dragon with divine skills, blasting at the demon demigod. God. I don't know if Du Ming started to fight for his life, but the power of his divine skill suddenly increased by 3 points, knocking the demon demigod back continuously, and it seemed a little difficult. The situation in front of him suddenly took a turn for the worse. From the standpoint of the human race, how could Xiaoping'an stand idly by? In his eyes, that powerful demigod from the demon race was simply a moving divine crystal mine. Isn't the divine crystal precious in this secret realm of spiritual wilderness? No, there is one coming to the door right in front of me. The key is that Xiaoping'an has just arrived, and he doesn't know whether the giant tower in his secret mandala still has the powerful ability to transform divine power when encountering demons. He also wants to give it a try. In this case, Xiaoping'an quietly left the hiding place on the legs of the tree of life, hiding his figure, and quickly approached the two demigods amidst the chaos and flames in the sky. Battlefield. Ahem, there is no need to talk about martial ethics when dealing with enemies. Sneak attacks are the best choice, with low cost and high returns. This is a battlefield, not an arena. Hey hey hey. Without the fierce battle between the winged demon and the tree of life and the explosion of the few remaining bird-shaped metal puppets in the sky, it would have been difficult for Xiaoping'an to approach the two powerful demigods without being discovered. However, now in this case, he approached the two demigods who were fighting and took a detour behind the demon demigods. Sure enough, he was not discovered by anyone. Just when the powerful demon demigod was pushed back by Du Ming again and had just finished casting his spell, Xiaoping'an said nothing, and in the blink of an eye, the three divine skills that were ready to go hit the demon demigod. On the body. The first one to hit the demon demigod was Xiaoping'an's Imperial Divine Fist. As soon as this divine fist appeared, it was like an iron fist as big as a house. It spanned 100 meters in lightning and stone fire, and directly hit the demon demigod's body. His body didn't even give the demon demigod any time to react. The second divine skill is Void Confinement. The third divine skill is the Divine Soul Flag that Xiaoping'an took out, which emits a black light that attacks the enemy's soul. It also hits the demon demigod's head at the same time. Before the demon demigod could react, his body had been hit by the Emperor's divine fist without any defense. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 1050. Puff. The demon demigod was defenseless. Under the bombardment of the Emperor's divine fist, a mouthful of blood mixed with internal organ fragments and the eyeballs in his eye sockets spurted out at the same time. Most of the bones in his body were shattered, visible to the naked eye. His body was as soft as a sponge, and his two pairs of golden wings were directly torn to pieces by the bombardment of the Emperor's divine fist. Such a terrifying attack naturally made the demon demigod's body want to fly forward, but in an instant, several mysterious golden runes flashed in the void around the demon demigod's body, and some golden chains appeared out of thin air in the void, wrapped around the body of the powerful demon demigod, and imprisoned the body of the demon demigod in the void as if frozen, losing the ability to move. At the same time, the black light emitted from the soul flag struck the demon demigod's head. The seriously injured demon demigod held his head and let out a scream, and his whole person suddenly became sluggish. His eyes were dull, he was just holding his head, unable to move. The secret attack of the triple divine skill is really not something that ordinary demigods can withstand. Seeing this situation, the strong human demigod named Du Ming was shocked. He didn't notice when someone sneaked into the battlefield, and he could complete the bombardment of the demon demigod at such a close distance. However, as soon as Xiaoping'an made a move, it was instantly clear whether he was an enemy or a friend. Seeing that Xiaoping'an's figure was exposed from the void, he was still a human demigod, and Du Ming breathed a sigh of relief. And Xiaoping'an was not idle either. From the moment his figure was revealed, he used the heaven-stealing technique more than 20 times on the demon demigod in 3 seconds. Such a good opportunity, a target that cannot move the body or think, is right in front of you. If you don't steal it first, you would be really sorry for yourself. With the blessing of the heaven-stealing technique, Xiaoping'an felt that the power of his secret mandala was increasing rapidly in the first few rounds. With the remaining 2 rounds, he felt that there seemed to be a little more power in his mandala warehouse from the powerful demon demigod. Something was stolen from his body. After a few handfuls, Xiaoping'an felt a comfortable warm current appear on his body. His brain consciousness was particularly ethereal, and there was a sense of joy in his heart. This was stealing luck. The confinement time of the void confinement divine skill is only 5 seconds. For a strong demigod, on the battlefield, these 5 seconds of being unable to move can already determine life and death and change the situation of the battle. By the 4th second, Xiaoping'an felt that the heaven-stealing technique could no longer steal the luck of the powerful demon demigod. He had already rushed in front of the demon demigod, raised his fist, and unleashed the terrifying Emperor's divine fist. The light and shadow of Xiaoping'an's body and iron fist merged into one, and hit the heart of the powerful demon demigod hard. The terrifying power was blocked by the forbidden armor, but most of the power still passed through the forbidden armor and acted on the powerful demon demigod. Boom! The other half of the demon demigod's bones were shattered at about the same time. Xiaoping'an's iron fist blasted a blood hole the size of a basin into his chest and abdomen. His heart was completely shattered and his flesh and blood were blurred. All the internal organs were exposed. In the 5th second, Xiaoping'an's Emperor's divine fist hit the head of the powerful demon demigod, completely smashing the head of the powerful demon demigod. At the 6th second, the golden chain wrapped around the body of the demon demigod disappeared, but the demon demigod was not dead yet. The body with a broken body and no head was actually still floating in the void. The broken body was still floating in the void. On the body wounds and broken necks, clumps of blood and muscle fibers were still rapidly dividing and growing, trying to grow back. For a strong demigod, as long as he does not see his body turn into dust, he cannot truly be sure that the person is dead. This is the horror of a strong demigod. Go to hell! A fire dragon flew in at the right time and directly wrapped the incomplete body of the demon demigod. Xiaoping'an also hit the demon demigod with another Emperor's divine fist. In the flanking attack of the 2 gods' skills, next, the terrifying shockwave and high temperature swept through the surrounding airspace, and the body of the powerful demon demigod turned into dust in the air, leaving the empty forbidden armor floating in the void. Xiaoping'an ignored the forbidden armor and flew towards the winged demons in the sky. The forbidden armor should belong to the powerful human demigod named Du Mingde. He wanted to fight for it. Then the nature of his action has changed a bit, the gain outweighs the loss, and he might even conflict with Du Mingde. Seeing that the powerful demon demigod was killed, the winged demons still surrounding the tree of life in the sky suddenly became confused and seemed a little panicked. Qi Lu. While Xiaoping'an was flying, the part shaped like a dragon's tail on the back of Xiaoping'an's forbidden armor suddenly reached his hand and turned into a long whip that was as terrifying as a dragon's spine. The long whip was burning. As Xiaoping'an waved his hand, the flaming whip suddenly became over 1,000 meters long, flying violently in the air, just like the demon dragon killed by Xiaoping'an. It was so powerful that it made a sonic boom sound that pierced the air, and then the whip whipped towards the surrounding sky at a terrifying speed exceeding the speed of sound. Thousands of winged demons flying in the air within more than 1,000 meters were swept away by Xiaoping'an's flame whip, and they turned into dust in the air like bubbles. All the winged demons were stunned, and Du Mingde was also stunned. Du Mingde had never seen powerful weapons in the hands of demigods, but this long whip was too overbearing to face these winged demons in the air, and Du Mingde also saw that the long whip was used in Xiaoping'an's hands with combat skills rather than magic. This long whip is the weapon that comes with the set of forbidden armor. The long whip also has the characteristics of the demon dragon that has done evil for countless years in the blood sea of the ancient god's heart in the temple of the seven pole. This long whip can automatically activate when it is waved. Mobilizing the power of the five elements has the characteristics of combining magic and martial arts, and is very powerful. Just because Xiaopingan has not mastered the divine skill of the long whip, Xiaopingan did not take out this long whip on the battlefield before, because of this long whip. The whip cannot threaten the life of the strong demigod wearing the forbidden armor, but for the beings below the demigod, this long whip is simply a crushing dimension-reducing blow. Xiaopingan rushed towards the places with the most winged demons. Within 1,000 meters, the long whip roared in the air, swaying in all directions, sweeping in all directions, like a monster released from a cage. Everything the long whip passed through there, all the winged demons turned into dust. After Xiaopingan killed thousands of winged demons in a matter of seconds and cleared a large area of the airspace, all the winged demons screamed and flew from all directions and began to escape. And Xiaopingan also discovered that every time he killed a winged demon, the giant tower could actually condense more than 200 points of divine power for him. This escaping winged demon is not a flying god crystal. Looking at the escaping winged demons, Xiaopingan laughed and chased directly towards the largest number of winged demons. The long whip made a terrifying roar in the air that chased souls and killed people, making those winged demons feel terrified. Xiaopingan's flying speed is originally faster than those of the winged demons. In addition, he holds a terrifying weapon that can kill the winged demons within 1,000 meters. This is simply the winged demon's nemesis. Xiaopingan chased those winged demons for more than 200 miles until he could no longer see any winged demons in front of him. He circled again, intercepting those winged demons that escaped in other directions, and killed them again. Only then did he fly near the Tree of Life again. When Xiaopingan flew back, he just saw the powerful demigod named Du Mingde coming back from killing the winged demons from another direction. The two looked at each other and laughed. "My friend, thank you for your help just now, otherwise today would have been terrible," Du Mingde said gratefully to Xiaopingan. "Haha, you're welcome. The demons are the enemy of the human race, so I should take action," Xiaopingan said with a smile. "My name is Du Mingde, do you know my friend's surname?" "My name is Yang Cheng," Xiaopingan replied, wearing the vest he used in Shangjing City again.